This is Hog Farmer Chris from the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation. And before you start listening to Red Zone in the Lab, check out our Amazon Smile, a simple way to support the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation every time you shop, and it's no cost to you.
Welcome to a brand new season of the Red Zone in the Lab podcast, where nothing is off the table. We will be discussing entrepreneurship, education, Black history, health, movies, family, and of course, sports. So do yourself a favor, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow on all social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And of course, you can always visit us at redzoneinTheLab.com.
Yeah, so I had a friend of mine who he was really connected to Bruce Allen's little crew from back when he was in Tampa. So just it's a small league, I guess. But he was saying that the insiders, NFL owners are basically saying that they now have the investigation complete that they were doing on the financial stuff of Dan Snyder, and they have enough information, they believe, to get 24 votes to vote Dan Snyder out. So basically, because they believe that Dan Snyder has actually been either taking money from them or not doing enough to give back into the quote unquote the bigger pot, right? So they have enough there in terms of that part of the investigation. So they're basically telling them, hey, listen, you can either go ahead and just sell, or we're gonna vote you out. We're giving you that out. Wow. If you don't, you want to either go, if you either want to do the whole partial sale or don't sell at all, we're going to release the report, and then you're going to have all kinds of other issues. So that's kind of what the tea leaves are. We'll I don't know if it's true. That's just the source, or that's just a rumor. And then the second part is I heard that he was telling me that Amazon Prime is the lead to get the Sunday ticket.
That's gonna be crazy.
So they like the way they're doing this Thursday night football. So they're in the lead to get a Sunday ticket.
Oh my God. Welcome back. This is now Owning the Huddle podcast with your boy Breeze, CeeLo, DT, and Deuce. We finally came up with a name, man. We went through a few of them, but of course we had to check around. We didn't want to be jocking nobody, but get no DMs like, hold up, man. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is what we're going to go with, man. We're going to have our official, we got to do our flyers and our intros and all that other type stuff. But here's where we are now, Owning the Lab. I'll say Owning the Lab. Oh my goodness. Owning the Huddle. Owning the Huddle podcast, man. And that's a flag. Yep. So we're watching the game while we're doing this podcast. So you might see us looking up, looking away, making comments out the blue. That's because we're watching this game. But what's good, y'all? How y'all doing, man? What's good, Breeze? Breeze just got back from his play, Christmas play with the boys. So what's good, man?
Man, blessed and highly favored, man. I'm telling it's always fun watching some toddlers try to do something that everybody know they ain't got no business doing. So, it was fun. It was very entertaining. Very entertaining.
What's up, CeeLo?
What's good, man? Feeling good. It's Thursday, which means we only got 3 more days to the big game. So can't wait.
Can't wait, man.
I'm actually traveling right now. I'm actually on the road for work.
As always,
man. But it don't matter. We're gonna get to it.
As long as you get back Sunday, that's all that really matters.
Exactly.
I heard see you there.
I heard y'all had a frost. I heard y'all had a little bit of some sprinkles. Or
yeah,
frost
it was crazy. It was crazy cold this morning, though. It was crazy cold
freezing this morning.
Yeah,
there's the rain and all that.
Yeah, it was crazy cold this morning.
That shows a good time to leave. Good.
DT, what's good, man? When you come with your introduction, just start us off, man, with your review of the last game, man, and what you take out of that game.
Well, ended with a tie. I mean, what else can I say, bro? We ended with a tie, but it's not far off from victory. There's a lot of things that we need to correct. And I think this team with the bye week, extra motivation, and now you see the hunger in that locker room. They are gearing themselves up for a playoff run. They know the teams that they're going to be playing. They're going to give them a ball, but I think the fan base is starting to come back. I expect the fan base to be full on Sunday. I expect this team to be ready, mentally and physically ready. Just cannot wait, man. Like, it's been a while since we had a team over 500 by 2 games, and you have a huge playoff implication game on Sunday Night Football. So I can't wait for that opportunity.
Yeah. Where you at with it, CeeLo? You take from the last game.
As a Commanders fan, just missed opportunities. We had a couple of opportunities to kind of close that game out, and I just felt like we let that go. We also had some unfortunate penalties. So the whole thing about this run has been we've been playing clean football, running the football on first, sometimes second down, and then having a manageable third down. So when we got behind the sticks a couple times, that really changed our game. So that's what I took away, is having to get back. Well, that's what it was. And then the Giants are the Giants. They have a really good defensive front, and they sacked us 5 times and had 10 pressures. So we got to clean that up. So between those two issues, that's kind of what I took away from the game.
Yeah, man. So cleaning up the penalties is not something that we used to seeing, especially from Ron Rivera and how he coaches his team. I think the last time we went off the rails like that was against the Cowboys. That was an ugly game with penalties, and it wasn't playing clean football at all. But what do you take from this past game, Breeze, that that we have to improve in order to kind of get this victory for this week?
I mean, it's kind of hard to. Me personally, I don't want to try to harp too much on the last game because we do get a chance to rectify it. It's kind of you don't really know how to feel with a tie. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know if you should feel happy or victorious and take away the positives. You don't know if you should kind of treat it like a loss, take away the negatives. It's kind of a weird game, but I think we saw that we can be effective against them, and then we saw this past week while we saw they're a very beatable team. So with us, hopefully getting some guys back this week, I'm confident in our ability to go in and attack on both sides of the ball and hopefully come out victorious in the game.
Man, Ayan, like, it's people just running wide open. There's people just running wide open in this game. Yeah. Oh my gosh, man.
I'm not sure if I've ever watched an actual Seattle game this year.
I haven't. I know for a fact I haven't.
But I've just been hearing about how good Gino's been.
Do you sit back and say, man, these walls just need something? Feel like it's time to freshen up your place with something new? If your answer is yes, then it's time to call Rob of Lewis Paints Plus, the accent wall expert. Rob will even give you a free estimate on how he can transform those boring walls in your home. To book today, call 240-418-5241 or reach out on Instagram at Lewis Paints Plus. And for 10% off, tell him Red Zone sent you.
We got the flex, right? Obviously, I'm thinking it's going to be Saturday. Like, it didn't even dawn on me that we could be flexed to Sunday night. It didn't. I just thought this even going to be one of the slots on Saturday. So then, when it come out that it's Sunday night, CeeLo, like, were you surprised? And were you surprised and plan on Sunday night? How does that change the magnitude of the game?
I don't think I was surprised. I think it was just a business smart move by the NFL. Let's be honest. You're talking about the number 1 market and another top 8-10 market in DC. So it was a natural flex. Both competitive teams right now. They're fighting for a playoff spot, and now at this point they have the exact same record. You could not have drawn it up if I was, Roger Goodell or whoever's responsible for this stuff. So I think it was a smart move by NFL. And it's great, man. It's going to be in DC. So I just feel like it feels. I hate talking about the quote unquote good old days, but it's like the good old days, man. It's like
It
old
feels
NFC
good.
football in December, man. I'm just happy that we can be playing competitive football.
Yeah.
I'm even happy for New York, man. I'm just glad that we all playing competitive football in December. That just makes it fun.
This was something I kind of pointed out a couple of weeks ago as the winning streak kept mounting up. I said this Giants game more likely is going to be flex, because if we get to a point where we're both at an even record or even better record, the playoff invitation is going to be massive, and especially with the NFC East now being one of the most dominant divisions this year. And it's been a while since this crew came to FedEx Field. Like last time they came up there was more likely, I think we talked about the Raiders game. The last time they were at that game, that crowd was crazy. Defense playing lights out. We had Kirk Cousins at the time. It's exciting, man. To be on a national primetime game, this third primetime game we got this year, and here's some positive things. Talk about the team. Talk about our players that nobody talks about. Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Montez Sweat, Cam Curl, like all these young guys that Ron has either coached or brought in himself, like get a chance to shine against the world, to let the world know that the Washington Commanders is a team to fear.
Yeah, man. Breeze, what type of excitement
Great point.
do you think is going to be? I mean, you went like crazy viral when B-Rob first came out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you was
That's right. We got a celebrity on the.
You know what I'm saying? You was a different person for that week. Couldn't get to you. Had to.
I know.
You know what I'm
Phone
saying?
was
Had to
off.
find you. You know what I'm saying? Like 3 phones rocking. But
He was giving out Google numbers.
Right.
Hey, where Breeze at, man?
He doing interviews in newspapers. He ain't got time for us. I'm busy, man. I got this interview, man. I can't do it today. But what is it gonna be like, either at the beginning, walking the team out, or trailing the team, that you see like the Predator come out? What type of atmosphere you think that's going to create for Sunday Night Football?
Man, listen. I think with the game being flexed to prime time, that nighttime, that vibe, and a lot of people plan on getting there pretty early to tailgate. So their system's gonna be a little altered a little bit. You know what I mean? I feel like
he said system's gonna be altered.
Be a little altered a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't want to say quite playoff atmosphere, because a lot of people don't really know what a playoff atmosphere is like, but it's gonna be probably the closest thing we've seen to it in a while, I would think. And then if this dude come out that tunnel last, like they did B-Rob, man, that stadium's going to erupt. Like, it's going to go. As long as people been waiting and going back, listen, 99 come out that tunnel, dead last, yeah.
Oh, man.
And then don't let the commander strike first, whether it's big play on defense or getting the ball first on offense and marching to the field and scoring. That stadium is, I think, it's going to get pretty loud. I'm excited to be in the building, and I think it's going to be a hell of an atmosphere.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, an update, man. That dude just standing back in the pocket all day to throw the ball, man. And it's like we're going to hopefully we can be back to full health. But let's just talk about St. Juice. How important is St. Juice is going to be having him back on the field? We'll start with CeeLo.
Yeah, I think that's going to be huge. I'm not sure if everyone saw Ron's presser, but he actually spoke specifically about the Holmes benching. That wasn't, it was basically for performance. And so I just think Holmes probably, got a little bit too big for him, and he just has to go back to work. So I think having, and that probably affected the defense a little bit and how you called the game. So I think having BSG back there, which in my opinion, I think is the most talented corner on the football team right now. And so that allows you from a schematic perspective, do some different things, knowing you got that back end taken care of, especially when they don't have as many weapons as you normally may see, at least on the skill position side. So huge for us, man. Huge for us. There was a few plays that they did get us in 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately Holmes was a part of that. So that shores that up a little bit. So I think it's a big deal for us.
What about you, DT, with BSJ and anyone else that could possibly not play, or having some people come back to this game, like Dax Milne, for instance? How important are those people to the team?
Well, let's start with the St. Jude's thing, right? So when we had Christian,
because I don't really want to talk about Dax Milne, but yeah.
But
he joking, Dax. If you listening, he just joking.
I'm just messing.
But when Christian Holmes started, he started against Atlanta, so they didn't really test him as much as Daniel Jones did, and we know that Mariota, he's not the most best passer, but he went up a step with Daniel Jones. He's a way better passer than Mariota. So I think with St. Jude's, we be able to press our wide receivers that he goes up against, play a little bit more coverages, combos, things like that. And then even for the offensive line, like if we get Trey Turner back healthy, I'll be okay with that. And then you have Sam Cosmi as a backup guard, left swing tackle. Dax Milne come back, probably get like a 6-yard return on a punt. I guess.
Probably 6 yards total.
Yeah, but
he takes care of the ball though. He takes care of the ball.
Yeah,
on punt return, he takes care of the ball. I think that's I don't know. Let's okay. Dax Milne, if you're watching, on like, let's take 100%, right? What do you all look at as far as a big return, let's say 15, 20 yards? How important is that towards, once a game, towards being able to catch the ball cleanly and get no yards like 3 times a game? Like what's to you all more important to the overall team? So let's say you get 4 punt returns, he could take 1 for 15 and he catches 3 clean. How important is that to you all?
I don't know, man. I think I looked at this stat a couple of weeks ago because I know we always arguing about Dax and everyone loves talking about.
Just saying, man. Yes. What good return have we seen this year? Other than we ain't seen nothing. And I mean, Jahan, he
there
can do return, but
yep.
We don't put Jahan back there.
Yeah, I think with that. Especially Jahan gonna be more involved in the offense. Listening to Scott Turner, it seems like he is. I would love to kind of do what we used to do, like with like D-Jax and those guys. Is Santana. That it's Santana. If they're punting from like between their 30 and 40 and back, to put those guys out there when they have more room to operate, just in case they do kind of muff that, be able to gather it and go. That's what I kind of want to see, especially when we need like a big spark.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think it also depends on the punter. I know it sounds maybe a little technical, but they may be looking at, how good their punter is. If they get really good hang time, you don't want some rookie or some guy that's not really used to being back there, because that gives that's a lot. That puts a lot on your punt block team. So your punt return unit. So it's going to be tough to kind of have them in there. So it really may be situationally dependent. I'm not sure how good their punter is. So that's something to think about too.
What about you?
And definitely sure-handedness is important.
Yeah, that's very important. So, Coach Breeze, did you all have any returns for touchdown? Because I remember in junior high school, everybody wanted to be kick returner or punt returner.
Yeah, we had actually, I think half of the ones that we ran back got called back for penalties and stuff like that, but we did have a few of them.
That's crazy.
I know I agree with y'all. I was actually going to say that. It's like, I know when I was in high school, we had 2 different return men, basically. it was like the safe return man. So if it's a potential that it'll get pinned inside the 10-yard line and you don't, you know what I mean? Okay, this is the guy. He's a little more football IQ, a little more shorthanded. Go back there, just catch the ball, just make sure they don't down the ball on the 1-yard line, basically. Or do enough that it'll bounce in the end zone, you can block somebody. And then if they're far enough back that, okay, we got some room to work, we're gonna put this little 4-4-2 running 5'7" receiver back. He ain't running nothing all game but fly routes and screens. He gonna toss this kick. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of, I like the situational idea. I know the NFL doesn't necessarily work like that. Me personally, if I had to choose one over the other, I would choose the guy that I think is more of a threat to return the ball versus the short-handed guy. But that also kind of depends on your team. If you have an offense that you know can move the ball, or defense that you trust to stop people, it's a little bit different. So it's a situational thing based on the build of your team for real. And I think that's part of it with Dax is like, you know, they trust the defense so much that they don't necessarily need a huge return, because if the offense stumbles, struggles, whatever, it's like, okay, Jack and them gonna go out there and lock it down on the other side. So I think that's a big part of it with Dax, that they just trust the defense to hold it down.
All right, let's go over keys to winning this game. We want to start with CeeLo. What are a couple keys that you believe is going to help us win this game?
We have to pass block. We have to pass protect. To me, that was the big takeaway from last game. I mean, you can't have Taylor Heineke on his behind 5 times or 10 times, depending on how you want to count, being knocked down. We have to protect Taylor Heineke when we were going to have to throw the balls at some point. I know we want to run the ball, like that's understood. But whenever we decide to throw the ball, protect Taylor Heineke. If we can protect Taylor, we keep playing the defense we've been playing, stopping the run, because that's what they do. They can't do nothing else right now. You are good. You are good. Give Taylor some time to work and to cook, just enough time. You were fantastic. But we can't, you drop back. Let's say we threw the ball 35 times. You can't drop back 35 times and be knocked down 15 times. You can't be knocked down half the time you drop back.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So give him a little bit of time. That means you're confident. You get more confidence. You're able to you feel a little bit more. You just get that groove going. I think that plays well with Taylor Heineke's skill set. So to me, it's all about protecting Taylor Heineke.
DT.
Okay, so one of the things, one, don't hurt yourself. This game, we hurt ourselves with a lot of opportunities, mainly penalties. We had 2 drives that literally cost 5 minutes in terms of time of possession. We did nothing with those drives. We have to find a way to finish in the red zone. When we're in the red zone, we have to score by missing throws, missing key blocks, or even the penalties, like I stated. Then, like CeeLo said, pass protection is going to be a huge thing. You had a whole bye week to look at how Martindale. And let's face it, man, I think Martindale had some things against us and kind of embarrassed Turner and them. I think they went in the lab this week and said we're going to have some blitz beaters against them. And if they want to test our offensive line thinking they can outpower them, well, we got the skill position, and I know my boys can beat your guys one-on-one. So I'm expecting a lot of blitz beaters this coming Sunday. And the final thing, man, look, don't change what you are. You've been winning games with the defense and running the football. And one of the things I want to run the ball and dominate them. Set the tone. Once you set the tone and we get either a 10-0 or 14-0 lead, mainly 14-0 lead this Sunday, the crowd's going to get into it. I don't feel like they're a team that can put up so-called 27 points like the Spacers believe they were going to get. I just don't see it. I don't see it. We're not playing Eli Manning. We're not playing Victor Cruz and them. We're playing Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and them.
Victor Cruz.
Breeze. So my keys to the game, like y'all said, like DT just said, kind of run the football, number one. Like we know that we can run the football. We as a team can run the football, run the football. And then after that, we've seen that the Giants secondary is pretty weak. So once you show that you can run the football on you, they have to try to, you know, I would imagine they're gonna try to load the box up, you know what I mean, 8-9 in the box, and then you can take advantage of the weak secondary. And as far as the blitz beaters, that's the quick pass and all that, the you know, run the ball, that all works. But I think an underrated key is Taylor Heineke using his legs to make an impact more than just running around in the backfield. So if you got defensive ends flying up the field and defensive they're applying pressure. If you see a running lane, put your foot in the ground, get 4 or 5 yards, and get out. Eventually, they're going to have to come out of that because you fly in the field and you're running past them. They have to change that up. So kind of make them think a little bit because Taylor hasn't really run the ball much. I don't know if that's by design or just coincidence. I think more so by design. I want to see Taylor use his legs a little bit. He ain't got to be Daniel Jones or White Vic or whatever they want to call him. But Vanilla Vic, yeah. But you use your legs. Like you have a gift. Use it. You know what I mean?
Right, man. I think that's my key is being able to help out your tackles, right? Help out your guards, help out your center. And I know you want to keep your eyes down the field, but like be a quarterback, like have some sense. You know the plays, you know where everyone's supposed to be, so you can peek, you can see what's coming up. And when your first couple reads is not there, look to take off. Or if you see a lane quick, look to take off because that O-line need help. And one of the ways that you can help them is to be able to slow up that pass rush. Because if they thinking they have to contain you, they're not going to come as hard as they've been coming. As far as and with the blitzes, you get a good blitz pickup that opens a hole in that defense.
The calendar says that summer is ending soon, but we're still outside. So when it's time to hop in your ride, make sure you book the best mobile detailing service in the DMV, Miles Detailing. Call 240-273-4018 or contact on Instagram at Miles Detailing to book your service today. Mention Red Zone in the Lab podcast for 10% off detail services only. Ride in style with Miles Detailing, that is.
Welcome back to Red Zone in the Lab with Deuce.
But on the defensive side of the ball, Breeze, where's the key to win the game on defense?
I mean, the Giants passing game does. Although it seems like I'm about to say Eli Manning. Although it seems like Daniel Jones always misses or has a bomb against us dropped. Thank you, but I'm not really worried about the Giants passing game. I'm worried about the fact that every time we play them, it seems like Daniel Jones has more running yards than Saquon Barkley does. Like, you know what I mean? I need them to contain Daniel Jones. If you can contain him in the pocket and apply pressure and hit him the same way that they were hitting Taylor Heineke and applying pressure to Taylor Heineke, I think we can win. You can get him uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And again, cover on the back end because it seems like every time we play him, he's throwing a bomb to Sterling Shepard or somebody, and they just end up dropping the ball. But, contain the quarterback. As weird as that is to say, but contain the quarterback.
Yeah, man, I agree. CeeLo, that's a flex with that Zaxby's cup. But defense.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Defense for you.
Yeah, man, similarly. So, keep it simple. Contain their run game. That's what they have. That's what they've been leaning on since week one. And keep that going. So keep containment between Saquon and Daniel Jones. They really are running the heck out of Daniel Jones. I mean, he is in a lot of RPOs. He's keeping it alive. He's keeping it even when a defensive end ain't crashing. He's just keeping it. Like he's feeling real nice. He feeling himself in terms of keeping the ball. So let's keep containment with him when setting the edge. Let's set the edge with the guys, and I think that really plays well into our hands. A lot of the fans for some reason feel like they want to see Daniel Jones do more. I would love that because their offensive line can't keep up, and their wide receivers ain't gonna be getting open. So I would love for them to try to do that. I trust our D line against their O line in the passing situation. So But I think, I think their coach is smart enough that they're going to continue to try to run the ball. We just got to stop that.
Man, listen, if they run that RPO and Daniel Jones pull that ball and he running the 22 or 31 coming downhill, I bet he stopped pulling it. I bet he stopped pulling it. They done run into one of them coming downhill once or twice. I bet he stopped.
Yo, Defoe be looking for it. He be looking for
it. I'm telling you, man, Christian McCaffrey, man, he be stretching that hip out, boy, stretching that thigh. Like he just, I don't know, man. They without Debo, let me be talking about the 49ers. Like, this is bad doing this recording, watching the football game. DT, defense.
For defense, it's very clear. The RPOs wasn't the thing that was hurting us. It was Daniel Jones scrambling out.
Yeah.
So if we contain him in the pocket and make him throw the ball against us to those wide receivers that they have, because the wide receivers outside of Slayton, I don't fear them. And you especially get St. Jude's back. That's a big boost for the secondary. So you can run the things that you want to run. And another two, obviously, take out Saquon as well. Saquon, he's been battling a neck injury. So if you hold him to like 2.3 yards a carry, I think the game is in our hands. You're forcing them to throw. And the final thing is get some more turnovers. One way that can help us in trying to dominate the game is try to get short fields, so that way we can give the offense more chances to get more points. The more points we put on this team, I don't feel like the Giants have enough offensively to come back.
I agree.
So they do have. I was gonna say they do have that. Hodgins has been pretty. I don't know. He's been kind of stepping up a little bit for him. Yeah. I don't know, he could play a little bit. I'll give him that for sure. So they may have 1.5 weapons.
Yes.
He came up to the
I ain't scared of nobody out there.
Oh man. Well, I will say, man, containing Daniel Jones is a must. It's a priority. And not like when our second level, right? Our linebackers, if we're in a zone or we're in whatever type of coverage, like they can't just keep drifting back. Like they have to stay close to the line of scrimmage and be able, just in case Daniel wants to move, to be able to be there like a threat, to be able to step up so that everyone else can come on the D line, because we have pretty quick D linemen in that sense. So we just, we got to stay in our lanes. We got to contain. We got to set the edge. We have to be responsible. But I think if we're able to do that and make Daniel Jones throw the ball, I like our odds, or just keep sagging them, man. We should, man, with the low options that they have on playmakers or skill position players, we should be able to have more than 5 sacks if we're able to contain Daniel Jones or a couple turnovers.
I think the Giants are a perfect team to have a spy against, because again, their passing options don't really scare anybody. So you don't necessarily need that extra body dropping back in coverage. The D-line has been doing a good job as far as stopping the run and getting to the quarterback. Like, if you can, I think this is a team you can afford to have, one of your 2.5 linebackers, spot a quarterback.
But this would have been a perfect game for Holcomb.
Yeah. And you don't want to play man, right? You want to play a little bit more zone, so you don't have your back towards Daniel Jones. So you want him to stay in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree, you can play man all day if you really want to. I know it's not Jack Del Rio style, but you can play man all day.
He's played it a lot.
I mean, zone all day. Excuse me.
He's played it. Yeah. And this would have been a perfect game for Holcomb, but if Jamie can get down there, and maybe Curl can get kind of worry about Saquon, and Jamie about DJ, I think that'll help us a lot. But let's get into key matchups. My key matchup for this day is Thibodeau and Charles Leno. Like, Charles Leno has to contain him. He has to hold him at least 2.5 seconds, man. He can't just let him fly off the ball and just run around him, man. He has to kind of stay in front of him, take him where he wants to go. And Heineke has to have that type of awareness that he lacks sometimes, to be able to step up in the pocket or step over or whatever, to be able to help his O-line out. Where you at, CeeLo, as far as key matchups?
So I'm probably going to say Scott Turner versus
Wink.
the defensive coordinator. Yeah, I just think that's going to be where things may start to separate, right? So if Scott can continue to lean on that, like everyone knows what our game plan is.
Mhm.
It's not even a secret anymore. I mean, we are going to run. It's week 14, whatever it is. Like it is what it is at this point. Everyone's personality is out there. So we're going to run the football. We're going to run that same little inside trap, with a right guard, loop around and be the lead. I mean, it's the same freaking play, and we get 5-6 yards a pop. So it's crazy that people know what we're going to do and we still execute, right? So it's about playing clean football, continue to call the game the right way, continue to throw deep when you got an opportunity, and just continue to stay ahead of the chains. And I think we good. I think you don't want to be in an obvious passing situation. And I know that's less on Scott. It just depends on when he calls things. But to me, that's where it's going to be where things start to separate is between the offense, their defense, and our offense.
DT.
Yeah, I agree with CeeLo, but I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna say John Masco versus Wink Martindale. I think him and Scott gonna be looking at the film, seeing how they were attacking the edges and what multiple ways they were attacking our mass protections and the slides and things like that. So I think once we get the offensive line straight, we can figure out ways to counteract that and put him in the right place so that way he can make the throws. And another additional matchup is I like to see Antonio Gibson against these linebackers in space. I think we can attack them the same way we did with the Colts, especially underneath and things like that. I think he should get at least maybe 8 to 9 targets out of the backfield, especially to help out with these long third downs. When we were in long 3rd and 7 situations, we did not get them, but 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5s, they were manageable. And that's something I'm looking forward to see.
As weird as it is to say, because I know, I don't know. I'm confident our game plan is to run the football. I know their defensive backs can't cover our receivers. So for me, like my matchup is our receiving core versus their secondary. Just because I Fabian Moreau and I forget 44's name, but like they can't cover him. Like Terry, Jahan, and Curtis, if healthy, which I believe all 3 of them are, I mean football wise healthy, they can't cover them. So once you run the ball on them, beat them up, force them to stack that box, and now you have to rely on them to bone up on the outside. Yeah, okay, give me them all day. You know what I mean? So that's my matchup. After taking care of the initial game, what we all believe the initial game plan is, I think we can really attack them. With some one-on-one matchups on the outside. So yeah, I'm going secondary versus the receiving core.
Yeah, man, Diggs got to catch that. Like, he can't drop that pick. That was too easy. That was right in the bread basket. Yeah. He got to catch that. What about a key matchup for you? Go ahead.
How many Diggs in the league? Dang.
Yeah.
I don't think Quandre is related to them though.
No, he not. Quandre not.
Okay.
Yeah. But they got another brother. They got another brother at Alabama that's coming out this year. He's pretty good too.
Yeah, okay. I coached I coached the youngest Diggs brother.
Mm-hmm.
He not going to the NFL. he ain't coming to the pipeline. But
yeah.
Everybody ain't able.
Yeah. So all right, let's get to these unexpected unsung heroes. Let's go offense first. Who do you all believe that's going to be an impact player that we might not be looking at, like to take out, Terry McLaurin, of course. That's probably like the only one in a sense, but to take him out of the equation, who else do you think can be an impact player? Let's go DT.
My bad. I just seen them through a pick. The one unsung hero I'll say, I'm probably gonna have to say Wes Schweitzer, because I think him having training camp the most at center when Roulier was out, that could benefit him. Now, I know he's not naturally a center, but one of the main things that I believe they chose him because he has the power to go to the second level and push guys around and things like that. So I think he's going to be an unsung hero that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, especially with that push we was getting against Larson, I believe. Larson before he got hurt. And then when Nick Martin came in, right, they was able to really push us. And I think Wes, which looks out of shape, but he says he feels better than he's ever felt. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
we'll see how that looks. But what about you, CeeLo? Anyone on the offensive side?
Kind of what DT mentioned earlier, man, I feel like we kind of forgot about Gibby a little bit the last couple of weeks. I know Brian Robinson is looking fantastic. He even catching the ball a little bit out of the backfield, which is great to see. But I don't know, man. I feel like Gibson may be an unsung hero. And it kind of is weird to say that because he's kind of one of our best players on offense. But I think what you said earlier, DT, was applicable. Is that if you can get him out in space a little bit and make some plays, I think that'll be huge for us. And I think he's kind of been forgotten a little bit, at least in the passing game. So I'll say Gibson.
What about you, Breeze?
So my unsung hero is kind of along the lines with DT, but I'm gonna go with Sam Cosmi if he plays, because he's not a natural interior lineman, although he may actually be better in the interior. But at going at guard, he's going up against Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence, on the inside, who are very they compare very well to our defensive tackles. So that's a tough matchup for him. But he's shown the ability to succeed on the inside. Like I said, he may end up being a better interior lineman than a right tackle. But I think Sam Cosmi is my unsung hero, because if he has a good game against those two dudes, I think we win the game.
Yeah, exactly. Defense, unsung heroes. I'm gonna go with Ridgeway. I think Ridgeway has been having a heck of a season, and he's made some good plays. He's been able to hold up the offensive line so those other guys can eat. But I think he kind of shows out a little more, especially under the lights, to kind of say, yeah, this is what y'all missing to the Cowboys in a sense. But I think he really shows up this game. So I'm gonna go with Ridgeway on defense. Are you going defensive line, CeeLo? Where are you going with your unsung on defense?
I'm probably going to go with Cam Curl. Here's why. So we facing a healthy Barkley. He took a bye week also. So
right, exactly.
So
that's true.
So if he gets past that first level, this is still Saquon Barkley, right? So we're gonna need somebody to chase him down, somebody to kind of contain him with the same kind of speed, so to speak. I'm not saying Cam is that fast, but at the same time, he takes great angles, he tackles real well. So it may be a little bit of a Cam Curl game if Saquon breaks one or two, and we don't obviously want him to get a big one. So yeah, I'm gonna say Cam Curl.
All right, you got Breeze.
Well, I was going to say Cam Curl. Stole mine. So I'm gonna rock the boat a little bit. My unsung hero on defense, if he plays, is gonna be Chase Young. I predict Chase Young plays. I predict Chase Young plays on a limited snap count. On a limited snap count.
They out that joint hitting.
I predict that in his limited snap count, he gets a sack and or a forced fumble.
Oof.
On his limited snap count.
No pressure.
That crowd gonna go crazy.
That crowd, it's a rat. They may need security.
That's so true. Yeah, they probably will. Yeah. Oh my gosh, man.
Shoot.
All right. So
gotta catch that ball.
We're at predictions right now. I'm going to give you mine. I'm going to go 27-17. I'm going to go 27-17. Commanders. I think we come out much better than we came out last year on offense and defense. I think we kind of contained Jones, and I think we put them in panic mode early, which will help us in a major way. So who do you got? What's your prediction, CeeLo? Score prediction.
Ooh, what a catch. So I have PTSD, so I'm gonna stick with my 21-20. My 21-20 prediction.
I'm scared for the game, man. We know how it is, bro. It's a big
21-20.
Yeah, 21-20. It may even be a comeback type situation. 3 touchdowns. We're gonna have. I'm not saying maybe it's a last minute touchdown. It may be a last minute stance, defensive stance. But I just don't see us beating anyone by more than 3 or 4 points. Just the way that we're building, the way that we just have been lately. It's just, I would love to see that, but I need them to prove it first before I can predict it. So right now I'm gonna say 21-20.
And I do think this is the most confident of a game I've ever been.
Oh, we know you was fired up the other day.
Yeah. In a long time, man. This is the most confident I think I've been, but I still know that it's not going to be a cakewalk. It's still the NFC East team, and just like CeeLo was saying, it's still something back there. Like, yeah, you better not set yourself up. But what you got, Breeze?
I think I said 28-16 earlier. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna keep my 26. I'm gonna go 26-21 Commanders.
Yeah, that's a little close. Go ahead. What you got, DT? DT about to come out of Joe 42-6.
No, because first of all, I was going to say my unsung hero is Danny Johnson, because I think he's going to get some playing time on the slot and stuff like that.
Okay.
But my score prediction, I'm going to say 24-16. I think the defense is they're going to get a lot of running plays, but once we start to clamp on that, I think they won't score in the second half. And then Scott Turner saves his best plays for the second half. We push the points on them.
That'd be nice to be able to put even more pressure in the second half.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Who is playing slot first? Is it Danny Johnson?
No, it's St. Juice. I mean, Bobby McCain's been playing slot.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. That's right. I forgot about McCain.
Yeah, Danny Johnson came in on the outside and they benched Christian Holmes. Yeah, he was having a time out there, man. He was having a time.
Okay, yeah. I forgot about McCain, man. Like I completely forgot about McCain.
Hi, I'm Christian Miles, native Washingtonian and real estate agent servicing the Washington metropolitan area. I started my career as an investor and later transitioned to the residential side. I really wanted to leave the investor side because I wanted to connect with people. Building relationships is important to me. I understand the buying and selling process can be challenging. I get it. I've been there. I'm a mom, wife, friend, and neighbor. I absolutely love helping families and connecting with people. Going through the home buying and selling process is stressful enough. When working with me, I make it fun. As a realtor, I think it's important to be able to connect with you. Every detail is important, no matter how small. Let me take care of the heavy lifting while you focus on the joys of finding a new home. Something I live by, people may not remember what you said, but they will always remember how you made them feel. With me, it's an experience.
All right, so this is not about us segment. We're going to talk about our NFC East rivals, Michael Parsons and his comments on Jalen Hurts. So let me see if I can play this clip.
Parsons, okay, on the Voncast. We alluded to it yesterday. We didn't dive in as much as we could have. Here's what happened on the Voncast, brought to you by Bleacher Report with Von Miller, who will be joining us in about 1 hour or 45 minutes from right now. Can't wait to chat with him about his life as job shadowing Brandon Beane since he got injured. Here's what Michael Parsons and Von Miller chatted about on the Voncast. He owed Aaron
Rodgers some money.
As a coach or the team. Oh. I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think
It's system and team. I think it's a little bit of both, man, because they got a great offensive line, which helps Hurts. Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They got a good running game. I mean, Miles Sanders. They scheme that they have. O-line. I mean, bro, and this Eagles Cowboys coming up, man. Yeah, it's coming up. I'm not trying to make no enemies. I just love the game so much. I understand it so much that I can't. I when things are off, I just can't hold it in. I almost gotta say something.
All right, so he basically said it's not Jalen Hurts, it's the team around him, it's the offensive line, it's all the weapons that he had. He even threw Miles Sanders in there. But not so much about is Jalen Hurts MVP. We had that conversation some other time. But just during the season, an active player that's going to play the person that he's talking about in a couple weeks, NFC East rival. How do you all take that? Is that okay to do? How do you feel about that, CeeLo?
We talked a little bit pre-show, right? I love it. I love it. This is old school NFC right here. Dexter Manley wasn't cool with Lawrence Taylor. I mean, they were just talking trash. They didn't play against each other directly, but it was no love between them. So that's kind of how I feel. Micah Parsons is kind of establishing himself, which is perfect because now all of a sudden you see all four teams kind of getting back to being at least competitive. And so I just liked it. I just like the way he's been. He's a confident. He's a really good player. He's a confident dude, and he's just speaking about the game outside of playing the game. And I think I like it. I mean, I like it a lot. I think it's great, and fundamentally, I mean that Eagles team is great. I disagree with what he's saying. I do think Jalen Hurts is having a really good season, but but I love that. I love the take. I love it, man, and he can back it up. We all know that. So
that's definitely it's gonna
I'm
be
cool
fun.
with it.
What about you, DT? And one of the tweets that came out was Lane Johnson. And I think he kind of set back the meme when you sit back to do eating popcorn or whatever. Because because they said that he neutralized Michael Parsons, and Michael Parsons really started going off when he had got injured. But how do you feel about that take? Would you want one of the Commanders to come out and talk like that?
It's a funny situation, right? When we look at Michael Parsons' 2 years, he's been one of the most dominant NFL defenders in the league. But I do like the trash talk in a sense because the whole division is good right now. And yeah, it kind of brings back the 80s, 90s vibe. You kind of sense it now, the Eagles and the Cowboys, they don't like each other. We've seen it in the spaces. We don't like the Giants and things like that. But I disagree with that comment, man. I think Jalen Hurts is playing at a high level. Every year since he left Alabama to Oklahoma, he has constantly developed. And you see it in his game. He's playing at a level that I did not expect him to play at. And he's going to get his money. But if we're coming for Jalen Hurts like that, can't the same thing be said for Dak Prescott a little bit? I mean, the Cowboys have been one of the most talented teams in the past 5 to 6 years. And I mean, what are we doing here? Dak puts up big numbers, right? 37 touchdowns, 11 picks. He puts up the same numbers, and he had Amari Cooper, he had CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup when he's healthy, good tight end, Zeke, Tony Pollard, but they don't get to the Super Bowl. So I mean, we can't talk about one flaw that you think it is, and then you're literally playing with someone that has something similar. I don't like to come after players and stuff because I think situation matters, man. Philadelphia hadn't had a 1,000-yard receiver in so long, and they finally get that A.J. Brown. They built that team for Jalen Hurts, the same way they built that team for Dak Prescott.
I agree. What about you, Breeze?
I mean, I pretty much agree with what they said. I'm a trash talker. I've always been. So him talking trash, I love it. I love the thought behind it of like, what I'm saying. I love that part of it. That being said, for the most part, historically, with the exception of like, Tom Brady and a few other people here and there, like most quarterbacks, regardless of the talent of the individual, most quarterbacks are only as good and successful as their supporting cast. So, like DT just said, like Dak Prescott has a great supporting cast. Jalen Hurts has an amazing supporting cast. But, I think Jalen Hurts is having an amazing year. And like DT said, every year since Alabama, Jalen Hurts has clearly elevated himself and his game in some form or fashion. So I don't agree with the comment, but I love the thought behind it, though. That, like, I don't care nothing about that. That's Jalen Hurts. It's the Eagles, not Jalen Hurts. But I think we can all agree we can't drop Carson Wentz into that Eagles team right now. They be 11-1 right now.
Yeah.
That's not meant to be a shot at Carson. But I'm saying, like, we can't take Taylor Heineke and that Eagles team is 11-1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not, like Jalen Hurts plays a big role in that. It's not just the people around him. You know what I mean?
And
one thing, dude.
got Sir Mix-a-Lot going to halftime show.
Oh wow, they definitely San Francisco.
Oh my God.
So one thing is that so one thing about the Commanders, and I think DT, you said it earlier. I feel like we kind of need a personality, right? Like I'm not saying they're nice guys. We have a very restrained team. Like they don't talk a lot of mess. They don't really have big personalities. Everyone's really good. They're really good with the fans. They're good in the community. But you don't really see like them like being themselves as much. So when you see like a personality like Michael Parsons, Jalen got a little personality. I would like to see some of our guys kind of get a little bit, just kind of get a little swag, not overly, overconfidence, but like a little like just kind of be out there a little bit. And I think that plays well.
Like, Chase Young is kind of like that guy on our team when he's not playing right now. But like Chase Young is probably like. Yeah, but like Chase Young is like probably like the one guy
the closest.
Stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because
he's talking. He's talking.
Because this is what Ron wanted. Like when he first came, he wanted to build exactly what he had. Like you look at all his free agent signings. You look at everyone he extended, all the draft picks. All those guys are like juniors, seniors, captains on their teams, and all that type of stuff. So this is just who we are. I mean, Chase is an anomaly. We see him out there, John. We see him out there talking trash. Like he's that guy. So like when he comes back, he's going to be that guy. I mean, he's probably the only one on this team that Von Miller will have on his podcast. You know what I mean? So that's just who we are in a sense.
Yeah. You're probably right about that. Maybe Deron Payne. I feel like Deron Payne kind of can be that guy.
He too humble though. You see the interview he had with
I know.
He was just chilling.
He's Payne, bro.
I feel like Payne does it, but like Payne does it like face to face. Like Payne doesn't do it like the world can see it. Like
he's
like,
conscious.
Yeah. He you know what I mean? Like
he probably do it on the field.
Yeah. I think Taylor does it a little bit, but it's Taylor Heineke though. Like,
quarterbacks.
And as far as like
we ain't got no diva person. We ain't even got no diva.
We don't,
receivers.
We a team for the nice guys, which is a great like you said, it's a great thing to have.
But Terry, like he's humble. He's like the team leader. He's like that A guy.
He talk a little,
but he'll talk
on the field. On the field. Like, but the minute that helmet come off, it's back to Terry McLaurin. There's something about when he put that helmet on and you know what I'm saying?
Which is great. Which is great.
Yeah.
He transforms.
I just want to put that out there. Yeah, so I had a friend of mine who he was really connected to Bruce Allen's little crew from back when he was in Tampa. So just it's a small league, I guess. But he was saying that the inside is NFL owners are basically saying that they now have the investigation complete that they were doing on the financial stuff of Dan Snyder, and they have enough information, they believe, to get 24 votes to vote Dan Snyder out. So basically, because they believe that Dan Snyder has actually been either taking money from them or not doing enough to give back into the quote unquote the bigger pot, right? So they have enough there in terms of that part of the investigation. So they're basically telling them, hey, listen, you can either go ahead and just sell, or we're going to vote you out. We're giving you that out. Wow. If you don't, you want to either go, if you either want to do the whole partial sale or don't sell at all, we're going to release the report, and then you're going to have all kinds of other issues. So that's kind of what the tea leaves are. We'll I don't know if it's true. That's just the source, or that's just a rumor. And then the second part is I heard that he was telling me that Amazon Prime is the lead to get the Sunday ticket.
That's gonna be crazy.
So they like the way they're doing this Thursday Night Football. So they're in the lead to get Sunday ticket.
Oh God, yeah.
So I have a question about that, and not that any of y'all may know, but if the owners vote him out instead of him selling on his own, does he still control the sale? Like who may buy the team, but it's the league that then kind of take over. I mean, I know they have to approve a new owner anyway, but like now, like as it stands right now, if he's choosing to sell the team, I think he has more control over the sale than if they vote him out, kind of thing.
So if it comes out that they're voting him out, or that they will vote him out, that will hurt him in negotiations. Right, because you can't sell something for $100 if I know you're giving it away tomorrow. You know what I mean? So that's the type of thing that we're gonna be kind of dealing with. That's why I think it puts pressure on him.
And I also think it's not out of question that he may want to sell 90% of the team, right? Where he's literally a minority owner. He has no voice, he has no say. So it's a little bit of stake in the team to at least say, it's still partly his team. And that's a possibility, but he has zero voting interest. He has no control over anything. And that could be something he can control and decide. But once you get voted out, you have no control. But to your point, your point, Breeze, he'll still get paid. He'll still get his profits. Mm-hmm. He'll still, going from $800 million investment to $5 billion. That's a huge return. So he's going to get his money regardless. It's just the way he gets it is going to be limited. Yeah,
and I would imagine they get to that point of wanting to, or they're probably at that point now. Like they're they want to wipe their hands of Daniel Snyder.
Right,
done with it completely. Whether we push you out or you choose to do it, get your money and go, please. Like. Not a minority owner. Just take your money, go buy a hockey team or something. Like if you want to still own a sports team, like go somewhere else.
Right.
So yeah, I would imagine they're probably to that point now. If for no other reason, just like we're tired of this being in the news every day, week, month, whatever. We need something. We don't need you anymore.
All the negativity, right, man. Now. They got so many good things going on in the NFL. So many good players. I mean, and he's just dragging it down every time, every time the Washington Post get 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, because that cokehead ain't gonna be able to keep him down long. He gonna stop. He gonna stop. You know how they get. He might be next. Yeah. How they start spilling the beans.
The thing about to make it a big segment, but the thing about this whole deal is, man, this is not about Dan Snyder being a bad owner. This is about all the other stuff. Like you don't take
being a bad
your
person.
team. Right, exactly. They don't care if you're a bad owner. Like look at Detroit all these years. Look at the Bengals all these years.
The Bengals, most definitely.
Like these teams have been awful, but no one's trying to take their teams away. It's about the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think fans forget that.
Keep on, y'all know what happened to Bubbles. It ain't gonna take long before he start talking. All right, man. Appreciate all y'all, man. We appreciate all of you for watching. We appreciate all of you for listening. Again, this is Owning the Huddle podcast with Breeze, CeeLo, DT, and Deuce. We appreciate you. Just remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you.